All right, today we're going to talk about removing and replacing the water relay in a typical forest unit. The doctor's complaint is going to be that the handpiece is dripping water continuously, whether it's in the holder or out of the holder. The first thing I would ask you to do is to remove the handpiece from the holder and then remove the handpiece itself and any coupler off of the handpiece tubing assembly. Verify that it is indeed leaking from the terminal, the water is leaking from the terminal, and that tells us that it absolutely is our water relay that's causing the problem. If we left the coupler and handpiece on it, trying to troubleshoot it, there's a possibility that the issue could be caused by an O-ring on the coupler or some other defect within the handpiece or coupler. So we always remove the coupler, the handpiece, and troubleshoot with our terminals exposed so we can see that the water's dripping. Handpiece nut right here, disconnected from the coupler or handpiece. So we've confirmed that we've got a bad unit, water relay. So let's turn the unit off. So we'll flip the on-off switch to the off position. We'll use our syringe to bleed off our air and water pressures. Open our unit up, and the component we're replacing is this one right here. This is a water relay. Now this is sometimes referred to as a Clippard valve, which is appropriate since that's who makes it. Our ins and outs on it, we've got a water in on this end of it here, water out to our handpiece tubing, it's located at this point, and then on this end of it is our pilot air coming in. It's actually water coolant air signal from our foot control. This is the signal layer that actually pushes the valve open so that water can pass from the inlet to the outlet. So our faulty one that we have in our unit here is an O-ring on this end of it that should be seated and closed with no air pressure applied to the relay. However, it's seated but not closed. There's a defect in the O-ring, water's leaking past it. So let's go ahead and remove the faulty one. This happened to be handpiece 1, 2, 3. Handpiece number 3 is the faulty one. And I look in here and it's 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be the one over here on the right side. Let's get the others out of the way. And as I described, here's our water coming in on a blue tube. This is my handpiece tubing right here, my water going out to the terminal. And then this clear tube on the end down here is my water coolant air signal. Now, to expedite this, to replace it, I'm simply going to cut my tubes. So I cut my water in, my water out, and my water coolant air signal tube going in down here at the bottom. Now at this point, if you like, off of this faulty relay, you can remove the unit clamps and reuse them. I'm just going to use some new ones that I've got here. Make my life easier. So let's go ahead and find my water coolant air signal tube first. Slide one of my little tubing clamps. Some people call it a ferrule. It's your choice. Can be a little bit finicky. And once I've got the ferrule down on there, I can slide my tube up over my barb. And the advantage of cutting the tubing off is that you're not trying to reuse a bit of the tubing on the end that's already been stretched by the barb. So we're using a fresh section of tubing onto our barb. It's going to be a better connection, more secure. So now I can slide my ferrule up. Push it on to the barb. That secures my barb and tubing connection. So next, I'll get my my water tube. And on this one, there's a bit of flashing around the sides of each side of the tube there. I need to trim that back so that my ferrule will slide on there. And I actually find that these little garden shears work, pretty well for this sort of thing. There, now I've got room to slide my ferrule down on there a bit. Now this is going to go on the outlet, which is the side barb. Push that on and pull our ferrule down. Push it over the tubing and barb connection to secure it. And all I'm left with now is my water in, which is my blue tube. Slide my ferrule down over that. Make my tubing to barb connection. Shoving that all the way on there as far as I can. And then slide my ferrule over and secure that barb to tubing connection once again. Now, having done that, the only thing I have left to do is put my water valve back somewhat where it was, making sure I don't kink any tubes. Go ahead and close my lid, turn my unit back on again, and now I can step on the foot control, test my unit, make sure that my handpiece is no longer dripping water, and I've fixed the problem. It's a very simple fix, not difficult at all. The water relay is available from Forest Customer Service. Just give us a call if you need one. Thank you.